Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing the like neon light design that's been going around lately. And as you can see, I've already done my left hand off camera and now I'm just doing my right hand. I am starting with my dehydrator and primer, and now I'm taking my base coat and applying that to all of my nails. And typically you don't have to apply base coat to the tips, but I do just to make sure that everything will adhere and stick on and stay onto the tips and nothing like peels away. And I cure that for 30 seconds before going in with my next step. After that's on, I am going to take this blue reflective glitter polish and I'm going to apply it to all of the nails. I like to have something showing underneath just because I think it's fun and different, and you don't usually see many people doing it. I have seen more people start doing designs on the underneath of the nails, which is really cool. But I also like to have something underneath, so when I do go to remove this set, when I file down the gel, I know when to stop so I don't file too far and end up filing into my natural nails. This just allows me to visually see when to stop. I do 2 layers of the blue and I cure each layer for 60 seconds. And now taking my nude builder gel from Savvyland, I'm just going to apply that to all of the nails. I start out by doing a thin layer of the builder gel, and then I take a larger like glob of the builder gel and just float that on top of that layer. And I didn't cure that first layer. Then after I get that bigger glob on, I will sometimes flip my hand over to help with building the apex and making sure that I have a good structure there. And then I cure for 60 seconds, and then if I feel like the nail is too thin, or if there's like some spots that need to be that have been missed, or I need to build up the apex some more, I will apply another layer and cure that for 60 seconds, and I just repeat that across all the nails. So I wasn't planning on doing a Valentine set on myself yet. I was actually planning on doing it in the first week of February, but my last set, my blue set, the pinky nail, ended up like cracking up on like the nail bed area, and because of that I had to remove those and do my Valentine set earlier than I was planning on doing it. So because of that, I hadn't even thought yet about what I wanted to do for a Valentine set on myself, and I was struggling to try and come up with something to do, and I had like no inspiration, and I was scrolling through Instagram and Pinterest. I was even Googling ideas. I just couldn't come up with anything. And then I saw a couple different like neon lights like inspired designs on Instagram, and I thought that was really cool, so I just decided I was going to do something like that. And I had already started this set before, and I was going to do red like the inspiration pictures, but I decided I wasn't really feeling the red, and like the glow powder also that I had wasn't really reacting correctly. So I took those off and restarted and decided I was going to go with blue instead. And I know blue's not really like a Valentine color, but it's my favorite color, so I just decided to go with that and just hope that the design itself was Valentine's Day-ish enough. And I'm so sad about my blues nails because I was really happy with how they turned out, and I was excited to like have them on for about a month or so, but the pinky nail ended up cracking like a week and a half into having them on, and I'm not sure what happened. Like, I don't remember hitting it or being rough or anything, so I'm not entirely sure how or why it cracked.
Let's go.
After I got all the nails filed, shaped, and buffed, I'm taking my black gel polish from Model 1s and I am applying that to all of the nails. And I do 2 layers and I cure for 60 seconds in between each layer. I left my application process in the video for anybody that wanted to see it, and I also was going to leave in my filing for anybody that wanted to see it, but when it came to filing, I could not focus at all when I was filing. Like, I just kept getting distracted by everything, and I would file like a little bit and then I'd end up stopping and taking like a 20-30 minute break, and then I'd file a little bit more, and then I'd get distracted and go off and do something else. I, for some reason, just could not focus when I was filing. Usually it doesn't take me long to file. Like, I can get that done pretty quick, but for some reason it took me so long to file these nails. It took me like twice the amount of time to file these nails just because I couldn't focus. So because of that, I didn't film any of my filing. So I did my thumb off camera as like a practice nail to make sure that it was going to turn out the way I wanted it to. And so now I'm just going on my pinky nail with my white gel polish from Model 1s. And I'm just going to be writing out the word love. And I am looking at a picture of a neon sign as my reference.
What?
drawing on 2 hearts. I'm just going through all my nails and drawing out the designs that I want on each nail first. That way I'm not constantly cleaning my brush and switching between colors. It's just easier this way to do all the designs in white first, and then I'll go in with my next color afterwards.
Hey, let's go. Freedom. Freedom. What? What?
For my middle finger, I am going to do lips and XO. I am out of frame a little bit on this one, but that's because somehow my camera ended up being like set up, or like it wasn't in the position that I usually had it. I don't know, I must have accidentally bumped it and not realized, so it wasn't positioned where I usually have it, to where my hand is in frame, so I am a little bit out of frame. These lips actually kind of gave me a difficult time. I had to redo them a few times to get it right. When doing this neon light design, you kind of want to keep your design simple, because neon lights themselves are pretty simple. They're pretty much kind of just like one continuous line across the whole design. So that's kind of how you want to go about doing your design. You don't want to put in a lot of detail or anything. After I had gotten the lips drawn on, I looked up and I noticed that my phone said that my camera had failed. So I wasn't sure how much of the lips I had gotten on camera. So after I had finished them, I do show a little clip of them finished, just in case I didn't show it all so you guys could see. Now I'm just going to take this blue gel polish from Savvyland and this blue glow powder, and I'm going to mix them together so that my design will glow in the dark. And I realized after I'd finished my nails that I didn't show the gel or the glow powder that I had used. So in that clip you can kind of see some of the finished look. But I'm taking that blue and I'm just going over all of the white lines. And you don't have to mix in the glow powder if you don't want to. I just did because I wanted to add a little bit extra to the design. But if you do mix the glow powder in, it does thicken up the gel polish quite a bit, and it leaves kind of a little bit of a grainy like texture to it. But once you top coat you don't feel that grainy texture anymore. Also, because the glow powder thickening up the gel, I was able to do all of my nails before curing. I didn't have to flash cure or anything because it just kind of stayed in place instead of spreading like gel likes to do sometimes.
Baby, I'm falling for, baby, I'm falling for you. What? I need you. Baby, I'm falling for, baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I am falling for you. Baby, I am falling for, baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I am falling for you. Baby, I am falling for, baby, I'm falling for you. I need you. Hey, let's go. Freedom. Freedom.
After I finished with the blue, I cured for 60 seconds to make sure everything was fully cured. Also because I wasn't sure how the glow powder would affect the curing time, so I just did a full 60 seconds and it cured just fine. After that, I take my top coat and I mix it into that blue gel polish and glow powder mixture that I had mixed up to thin it out and like make it sheer. And then I just go around the lines that I did and outline everything to give that like light spread effect. And I wasn't sure how to do this design, like this neon light design, so I went on YouTube and I looked up like for tutorials on how to do it, and I found one, and that's the one that I'm like following, and I can link it down below if you want to see that. But then after I had finished doing this set, I went on Instagram and I saw someone else post a tutorial that was so much easier than what I did. And all they did was draw the white line, and then they took their color that they were using and mixed it in with their gel polish or their top coat or their base coat or whatever, and then went over the white line and then just did the white line in the middle. And that was so much easier than doing all these steps that I'm doing. But I also realized that that wouldn't have worked for my design because I did mix in the glow powder to my blue gel polish, and once I mixed my top coat into that, I noticed the glow powder wasn't glowing anymore once I mixed in the clear, which is weird because On one of my New Year's sets, I mixed in the glow powders into clear gel polish, and it still glowed like that, but for some reason when I mixed the glow powder into a color and then mixed it with the clear, it didn't glow anymore. So I'm not 100% sure why that. After I get the outline done with that sheer blue, I cure it for 30 seconds.
Baby, I'm falling for, baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for, baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for, baby, I'm falling for you. I need you.
And then after I get that outline done, I take my top coat and I mix some more of it into that diluted blue mixture and dilute it even more so there's even less of the blue in it that will show up. And it's kind of hard to see on camera. Like, it almost looks like I'm just putting on like the top coat around, but in person you can see the very faint amount of blue that is in it. And after I go around everything with that super sheer blue, I cure for 30 seconds.
I need you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for, baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for, baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for, baby, I'm falling for you. I need you.
Let's go.
Freedom. Freedom. What?
I need you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for, baby, I'm falling for you.
What?
I need
After all that's cured, I take my white again and I'm just tracing over everything and drawing on like what would be the light bulb, and I just do a very thin line, and to get the thin line I apply very light pressure with my brush, because the more pressure you apply on your brush, the thicker the line, but the less pressure, the thinner. And I kind of focus more on using the tip of the brush and not so much like the middle part of the brush, if that makes sense. Once you add that white line on top, I feel like it really brings out that like glow effect. And after I get the white line on, I cure for 60 seconds.
Hey, let's go. Freedom. Freedom. What? I need you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for you. What? I need you.
And once that's all cured, I go in with my shiny top coat and top coat all the nails. And as you saw earlier, I did have my thumb matte, but I decided I didn't like that because I felt like instead of blending all of the different layers, it kind of kept them separate and you could see each individual layer, whereas with the shiny it kind of blends them more and it looks like one whole layer. And I cure that for 60 seconds. And even though I top coated, I'm not finished. I am taking my AB rhinestones and I'm actually going to apply them to the underneath side of my nails. So I'm just taking my rhinestone glue and applying that underneath, and then I'm going to take my rhinestones and just place them. I got this idea from Gotta Hand It to Danny. I saw her video on YouTube and I absolutely loved the idea of having rhinestones under your nails, so I had to try it out myself. And the size of rhinestones, like the bigger size of rhinestones that I used, they looked like they were sitting flat on the nail, but I also couldn't 100% tell, so I just made sure to add a little bit of extra glue there in the middle, just in case there was space in between the rhinestone and the nail, so that way they were fully adhered on to the nail and not just like by the edges. And for the smaller rhinestones, I wanted to use a bigger size, but I didn't have enough of the size that I wanted to use, so I just had to use these little tiny ones, which they worked, but they weren't really what I was wanting. And I only show myself applying the rhinestones to my pinky and my ring finger just because this was a very tedious task to do, and I felt like it was a little bit more difficult to apply them underneath the nails than it is to apply them to the top of your nails. And once I get all the rhinestones on, I cure it for 60 seconds. I put the rhinestones on one nail and then cure that nail, and then I get the rhinestones on the next one and cure the next one. I don't put all the rhinestones on all the nails and then cure.
Freedom. What? I need you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for you.
And now I'm just applying my cuticle oil.
I need you.
And here are the final results. I think they turned out really well. I love this neon glow effect. I think it looks really cool. I feel like the camera doesn't do them any justice. Like, I feel like they look more like they're glowing in person than they do on camera. And I just love the glitter and rhinestone bottoms. I think that is such a fun little extra something to add to the nails. And what do you guys think about putting rhinestones underneath your nails? Like, do you like it? Do you not like it? Would you try it yourself? You kind of get more of that glow effect here on camera when I'm outside. Like, they look like they're glowing more than when I was inside and under my ring light.
What? I need you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling for you.
And of course, I have to show you guys them while they're glowing in the dark. They're super, super bright. I love this glow powder. It's super bright.
I need you.
And I can't forget to show you guys what they look like under flash to show off that reflective glitter underneath. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.
I'm falling for you. Baby, I'm falling.